Go get us on the team, yeah, we getting it done. And shout out to Travell, yo, you number one. It started with a dream that turned into a vision. To educate new generations is our mission. Ears to the streets, yeah, we steady politicking. If it ain't about the change, mind your business.
Now wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. Wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. Now wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. We top picks like we all up on the gram with it. Now wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. Now wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. Now wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. We top picks like we all up on the gram with it.
Today is Thursday. Of course, we're back with another fire episode. As a matter of fact, today episode kicks off season 10, right? So we've been doing it, over 4 years now. So we've been kind of hitting it and grinding a little bit. But anyway, we have a special guest as we normally do every Thursday. And today we have a young lady. And hopefully from this episode, you'll get to know a little more about her and her side and for her perspective of things. So with that being said, good afternoon, Miss Simona. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for inviting me.
No problem. No problem. I see you sitting in the car. Are you going anywhere special?
You said quiet place. I mean, I can go in the house, but you're going to hear cat and you're going to hear dogs.
Oh, no, man. We definitely want to hit now. Dogs? Okay, cool. Because I have a little dog. But cats? No, ma'am. Absolutely not.
So the car was the best option.
Oh, well, look, whatever floats your boat. I'm honored and we're actually glad that you accepted our invitation to come on today. And I want to apologize to you straight off the cuff because my co-host cannot be here today. However, I'm here and we're going to get the job done, right?
True.
So let us start with you telling us a little bit about who you are, like where you're from and all that good stuff.
Well, Simona, I'm the mother of Boonk Gang, a.k.a. Holy Gabbana or John Gabbana, and I'm from Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, born and raised.
Okay, so what was it to do down there in Jacksonville?
Fight the sun. It's hot. Florida weather.
I'm sure, yeah. But Florida gets a lot of rain though, right? Or no?
Yes, we do.
Okay. It's just like being in Atlanta. 1 minute it's fine, it's sunny, it's a chill day, and the next minute it's raining, and you be like, damn, like okay, now the rain is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Florida.
So tell us a little bit about how many kids do you have, by the way?
I have 6, 5 boys, 1 girl.
5 boys. Now was that a challenge at all?
It was, especially with me being so young, a young mother, teenage mom.
Okay.
So I learned as I went along.
Okay, I'm sure. And just like everybody always say, parenthood does not come with a manual. So, you got to kind of learn things off the fly. So we definitely understand that. So with you having 6 kids and you growing up, were you a single parent?
No, I wasn't a single parent. Well, when I was married to Boonk's father, I don't call him John. I don't call him nothing but Boonk. He's been Boonk from the day he came out. So when you hear me say Boonk, I'm talking about my son, my oldest son, Boonk Gang, John Gabbana.
Okay.
So with Boonk, I was married to his father. I was married to him when I was 16 years old. That was abusive. I was just trying to be grown before my time.
Right.
And so I ended up divorcing him, then got remarried and to my other children's father, my 5 other children. And he was 14, almost 15 years older than me. And so we were married for, I want to say 13 years. That's what I want to say. Maybe 12, 13 years. And so he raised Boonk from a baby, taught him how to walk. He raised him up until he passed away.
Okay. Oh, I did hear him say that in the interview. Yeah, like he was a good guy. Like he really taught him a lot. I didn't hear him speak negatively about him at all. And fast forward a little bit, I even heard in one of the interviews, he was talking about how, when he was sick and when he left, how things turned for him, how he started to go into the street and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to get your side of things, your perspective as you are the mother, and I've seen, several clips where you were speaking, and I must be honest, it was different from what he was saying. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, from what we want to get out of this episode is just some clarity on, what things really were, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So at the point when I'm not gonna say his stepfather because he speak of him as his father.
Mm-hmm.
When he transitioned, you know, put us there. Like, how was he as a teenager?
Oh, hell. So I used to work for a corporate company, and I was a great job, great career, good money. I had to end up taking an early retirement because of Boonk, and not just because of Boonk, but also because of my daughter.
Okay,
But we're speaking of Boonk, so I'll keep it with Boonk.
okay,
Police coming to my job, police calling me. I'm having to leave work early. It, I guess because Boonk, he passed away. Our whole life was uprooted.
okay.
We had a life, we had a routine, and that foundation that we had was uprooted. So it really started with Boonk at the age of 16,
Okay.
where he was doing drugs, uh, stealing out of stores. I
Mm,
was constantly having to go to the school, constantly having to leave my job, to where my job pulled me in the boom boom room, they called it, and the union steward was there. And at this point, I've gotten so many occurrences till I either had to take an early retirement or get fired. So Boonk choices put a lot of pressure on me. And made me make a lot of decisions that I should not
mhm.
had to have make as a mother if he would have just stayed in a child's place, if he wouldn't have
Right.
tried to be unruly. So finances became very, because before, even though I had a great job, the
Mhm.
finances were different now.
Right.
Totally different. By my late husband being out of work, being in the hospital because he had cancer, and by me having to take a leave of absence, which is FMLA dependent care, because I was under dependent care, I wasn't getting paid. So there was a period of
Mm,
time to where I was off work taking care of him, and I'm paying for private schools, I'm paying for activities, I'm paying the mortgage. Everything is
mhm.
being depleted that we had saved. So when Boonk started acting up and started this stealing and just acting out, I had compassion and mercy because I know he went through a lot. But there comes a
Right.
time to where if you see me struggling and you say, okay, and you hear me say, okay, this food here is for us. We got to stretch this food.
Right.
And then I come home, not only did they eat up the food, they have friends over giving out food away to them. We cannot
Right.
live that way anymore. We are on a different budget. With me talking to him, with me explaining things to him, it's not that we
Mhm.
were doing so bad. It's just
It
things
was
changed.
right. You guys went from two household income to one, and then
Right.
someone, leaving, well, transitioning. Um, And so I can understand that, but as a from a child's perspective, I think that, even though as parents, we sit down and we talk to them and we try to, put them right where we are, we don't see that because we're so used to it being a certain way. So
Mm-hmm.
it takes a while for us as as kids growing up, um, to catch up to where the adults are. So,
Well,
not
see,
taking up for anything of what was going on, but I just think that like sometimes we have to realize that everybody arrives to places differently at separate, at different times.
true,
So when you were telling them like, hey, like y'all, like we're in a tight space now. Is we're on different type time. So this is what I need for you from you guys. But during that time, he was still, smelling himself or doing whatever he wanted to do.
mm-hmm.
What, as a parent, what other things did you do to show him that, hey, like what you're doing is not it?
Nothing helped. But I can tell you, I took things away. I took them out of private school. No, I
Okay.
wasn't gonna pay for it. No, you're doing all this. I'm putting you in private school, working extra,
Mm-hmm.
hustling, doing what I got to do so you can get a good education. I'm not doing that.
Right.
So took the private school. That didn't affect him. He didn't care. I didn't care about his sports no more. Oh, you want to do this? So fuck the sports. You do it
Right.
yourself. You want to be grown? I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't supporting on what he wanted to do. See,
Right.
Boonk was used to, just not Boonk, but all my children. Boonk was used to feeling entitled. See, I know Boonk done said he grew up in the hood. That's a lie. Boonk said he grew up poor. That's a lie. None of that.
Mm-hmm.
We were middle class. If you want to put it in a class, we were middle class,
Okay.
and they were suburban children. And they were used to and accustomed to living a certain way. Well, that way
That's
was different. See,
yeah.
for me, because how I grew up straight on the hood, in the hood on the north side of Jacksonville. We call that neighborhood Pakistan. So to
Wow.
me, in my mind, I'm still saying, okay, things have changed, but it got to be more of a budget where before your
Mm-hmm.
friends could come over and I don't care if they have a soda. I don't care if they have a snack. Now, no, they can't do that.
Yeah.
So Boonk lifestyle changed into him in his mind. Oh, that's the worst thing ever from a
Mm-hmm.
child that's used to having, from a child that mother put him on a pedestal. Boonk was 9 years old riding to a Pop Warner football game in a limousine. Boonk, I'm
Wow.
sponsoring the whole football team. They didn't have a worry in the world because
Mm-hmm.
Boonk was so used to feeling like a star.
Right.
He was popular. um Everybody loved him, so you come from that and now you have to adjust the lifestyle. Then you're
Mm-hmm.
going to get a child that's going to start acting out. You're going to think that it's the worst thing in the world, especially when you're going to private schools with children who parents have money, live in subdivisions, um
Mm-hmm.
have nice big homes with pools. And then when you start comparing the two, and that's all you have to compare it to, you're going to think, oh, we're so poor. And no, we're not. Just the
Right.
lifestyle changed. You still have
Right.
a roof over your head. You still have food to eat every day. Your mother still has a vehicle. You're not wanting for anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think I definitely understand what you're saying. And you know, as a kid we look at it totally different because, like you just said, like from comparing you guys' lifestyle to, one of his classmates is totally different. So he's looking at it as less than, but if you're still in the comparing group, look at those who are really in the hood,
Yeah, exactly.
so and you can see
Right.
you can see a difference, so
Right.
that's where the middle class come in at,
Right.
you
And
know.
see, he didn't have that comparison. I never brung my children to hang out in the hood because of how
Okay.
I grew. Is nothing wrong with it. I came from there, born and
Mhm.
raised. But I knew the roughness and I tried to keep my children as innocent as possible. I didn't
Mhm.
want to expose them to certain things. I didn't want them to have to go through things that I went through. So Boonk didn't have the hood rough life to compare it to.
Right.
He didn't
Okay.
have that. Well, they don't have no lights and water. At least my mama have lights and water. They wearing the same shoes for 3 years. At
Mhm.
least my mama buy me shoes, on a regular.
Right.
He didn't
Mhm.
have that to compare it to. The
Right.
only thing he had to compare it to was suburban children.
Okay. So, what are some of the things that you have heard him say and put out into the media that's totally far from true? Besides, growing up in the hood, that kind of ruffled your feathers.
Ooh, yes, I could go over a few things. This one here pisses me the fuck off. Well, I seen a post and I posted that video on my page too. He was standing in front of a mirror and he had his cell phone camera and he said that I tied him and all my children up to a shower on a regular basis and beat them on a regular basis and beat them with extension cords, just wailing on them. What? You
Mm.
lying motherfucker. If that's true, where are them slave scars? The
Right.
way this boy say I beat him, yes, I did get the butter from the duck. Yes, I did discipline my children accordingly. Not how he's saying. I never did no shit like that, tie my children up to a fucking shower and beat them. But
Right.
that there pisses me off. Another thing, he on the Tasha K interview, he said that I choked my daughter out. He said my sister, I watched my sister was 6 years old, and I watched her choke my sister out. What?
He
No,
watched him and didn't do anything?
this guess so. That's what he say. But let me tell you the truth on that. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Oh yeah, I got in my daughter ass. I whooped her like a grown woman a few times. And let me tell you why. She was 13, 14, and 15 years old, sleeping around in the streets with a few men, grown ass men, over the age of 21 men. Now, that was one thing that had the police came to my job, and I had to go to the school, go leave the job, go get her. She was running away to be with these men. I go pick her up, take her to the clinic. She have several STDs. I'm paying for this shit. I'm leaving my job to go deal with this. So after every 5 years, the company that I work for, they give you gifts. So I think my 10 year, I had a globe of the world. And so she telling me, after I done did all this, I'm calm and collect. I did everything I'm supposed to do. Okay. She take my globe, kick my globe that my company gave me, start cussing me out, swinging her arms, saying, I hate y'all. Fuck you. I ain't taking this medicine. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, and you best believe I got in that ass. You best believe that. So when he tells something, he need to tell the fucking truth.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, that's definitely far from what he said. Yeah, that's definitely
But yeah, that is, I sure did. I beat the fuck out of her. She want to be a grown woman. You want to act grown. You want to bow up at me. The mother, the one that's taking care of you, the one that's leaving the job that I had to come take off, that I'm supposed to be taking care of you with, because you want to be in the streets. Now, everything I'm telling you is documented. Everything. I know she was a minor, but shit, if I got to pull it on papers, because she was a minor under my care. Everything I'm saying is facts. I went through hell with that girl. Went through hell.
Okay, so you got papers. So let me ask you this. So why did you have papers? Like, did something happen? Like, did the police were the police involved or something like that?
Yeah, I had to call the police on her several times because she kept running away to go be with this man. This one of the men was 21. I don't know how old the other, but she kept running away. So I had to keep calling the police. I had to keep taking off my job. She'll leave school to go be with this man. The police coming up to my job because of this, causing attention to a job that a great job that took care of their father. The insurance took care of their father whereas he was passing away. So it's causing hell. You know, so I got papers. If I got to go pull a police record, he want to debate with me about the age. Hey, we can go at it because she wasn't 6. She was 13, 14, and 15.
So at what age was Boonk at this time?
Well, when she was 13, Boonk must have been 15.
Okay. So him being him, and like you said, he was kind of hard to handle and out, doing drugs or doing, things that he shouldn't be doing. It's kind of hard to sit here and digest that he didn't do anything to you when that was happening. Like, he didn't try to, step in or try to break it up. Like if he's saying that, hey, my mom like took my sister out, she was 6 years old, and that's what he's saying now, 6 years old. You didn't do anything. You didn't do anything to try to break that up, stop it, defend her, or anything. You just let it go.
My late husband, there's no way that my late husband would allow me to choke out my 6-year-old daughter. There's no way in hell.
Right.
Now, I went through things with him, abusive thing. He was an alcoholic, true enough. But when it came down to he loved his children. He loved his. There is no way he would ever sit back and allow that to go on.
Right.
Every discipline that I gave my children, it wasn't because I was some crazy mother. I'm angry. I had a bad day. I'm taking it out on my children. How he tried to make it seem. Never that. Every discipline I gave my children, it was accordingly. If I told you to clean your room, I'm going to tell you one time, clean your room. I come in there, you ain't clean your room. I'm going to tell you again. Now that I'm going to get some.
What's up, family? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Wait Again Minute Podcast. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Hit that notification button as well. So when we drop a new episode, you'll be first to know. Stay tuned to all things Wait Again Minute.
Bass in my voice. Didn't I tell you to clean your room? You don't hear me again. Now I'm going to flip the fuck out. Didn't I tell you to clean your motherfucking room? And I'm going to start throwing shit. I'm going to say, you want to live in trash? Now clean it up.
I'm going to show you.
I don't like it. If I'm telling you to do something and I'm your mother, I'm teaching you. That's my job. And I have 5 boys at that.
Yeah. I can imagine how I'm looking around there then, because, boys aren't too as tidy as, most boys anyway, aren't as, tidy as the young ladies are. But, okay, so at this point, when he's saying that, like, how does your family feel? Because you have 5 other kids.
Okay, so my other children, they really don't get into it. They just let him and I battle it out.
Okay.
But they know we wasn't poor. They know they ain't grow up in the hood. They know that he exaggerates. I mean, they just stay out of it, but they know.
Now, does he and his siblings have any type of relationship?
They do. They communicate, but truth be told, Boonk, he likes to rub things in. My children didn't tell me this. I watch and I observe. Boonk rubs shit in their face. Boonk is so used to being on top and used to being the popular one. Out of everybody in the household, Boonk was always the popular one. And so Boonk don't want any of my children to shine but him. They never looked at it that way. Even when I say something, they still spoke highly of their big brother.
Right.
They never saw it any other way. However, me, I know Boonk. I gave birth to him. I know his ways. And I know how he is. And so they don't have nothing bad to say. They always speak highly, or they just say, oh, that's just how Boonk is. He's just exaggerate, or he's just lying just to get, clout or whatever. They brush it off. But me, I'm going to take that shit seriously because this is my name. You don't know what I've done to sacrifice my life to be able to provide you with the lifestyle that you did have.
Right.
But they don't, my boys, they just overlook it, and that's another reason why I kept putting Boonk out the house. Now I want to clear that up too. Boonk said that he was in the streets and this and that. No. That's a bold-faced lie. When Boonk was 16, almost 17 years old, I called his biological father. His name is John as well. He's named after him. I told him I can't do it. For almost 17 years, I ain't never asked you for nothing. Boonk is turning my household upside down. I have other children that look up to Boonk. Boonk is sneaking girls in. Boonk is stealing out of stores. They following what Boonk do. I cannot have this go on in my household. You need to come get him. So that's what John did. John, my ex-husband, came and got Boonk. That lasted 30 days. John called me and said, Mona, he can't take care of Boonk. He said, I can't take care of him like you can take care of him. Can he please come home? I said, sure. Boonk came home. I asked Boonk, did you learn your lesson? He said,
Right.
yes. Boonk did not learn his lesson. He started doing it all over again. I had to move because of Boonk. I was living in a subdivision. The homeowners, by that time I had moved out of my house that I owned because I
Okay.
lost it.
All right.
So I moved into a subdivision because Boonk was stealing, breaking into homes, doing all kind of stuff. The home association sent me a letter saying they're going to have a meeting to see whether if I can stay or not. So Boonk put me in a lot of situations and a lot of predicaments because of him,
Right.
his choices that I didn't have to be in.
Wow. So it seems like he was definitely a handful. And I can, as any parent, probably, when you have one kid who's affecting, how the other kids are moving and shaking, you definitely want to separate them. So he was at this
Right.
time, he was 17 going to his dad's house.
He was 16 going on
16.
17. And
Okay.
then I'm skipping some things, but to get to where I wanted to go with this, when Boonk was saying he was in the streets, okay, so I let Boonk come back home. He was 20
Okay.
years old. I was living in Miami at this time. So my ex-husband, I got remarried, but I always had bad choices in men. That was my biggest downfall. But
Oh,
my ex-husband, he owned a company in Miami. So he gave Boonk a job. Well, Boonk was doing this Boonk Gang stuff, and I had no idea whatsoever. I'm working 2 jobs. I'm going to work every day. I know Boonk. He was always in the bathroom, and I was in the kitchen cooking one day, and I say, Boonk, he come out the bathroom from downstairs. I say, why are you always in that bathroom? He say,
right.
because he's doing skits. And I know he always tried to be ostentatious. He always tried to be a class clown.
Okay.
So I didn't think nothing of it. And he wanted to go meet the Glow twins to do a skit with them in Atlanta. He called me, asked me, could I pay for that? I gave him the money for that. I didn't think nothing of it.
Right.
So one particular day, I get a knock at the door. It's the police. Now, at this time, my second son, my third child, second son, he was 17 years old. Well, come to find out, they were doing a hood slip and slide at the dollar store at Dollar General. And the police captured my 17-year-old son, had him in the back seat, saying that if Boonk, the manager, was understanding and saying that he know that they're young and they're doing it for videos, but
Right.
if he'll pay for it and clean it up and the mess they made when they destroyed the store, it's okay. He can go ahead. He won't take my son or him to jail. Well,
Okay.
Boonk was getting belligerent and wouldn't do it. He wouldn't pay. And so I'm like, what? So I say, Boonk, if you don't pay for this mess,
You're going to jail.
then that means my minor, your brother, which is a minor, is going to have to go to jail. I'm going to have to take off my job. I'm losing money. What are you talking about? I don't care. Fuck this. I say, Boonk, I've been helping you and supporting you. You are 20 years old. I'm trying to help you get on your feet. I help you get a job with Ro, which is my ex-husband now. And he was just beside himself, belligerent. And I said, I helped you with the plane ticket. Even paid for you a hotel because I did not want you in the streets. And this is how you do me?
Right.
So Boonk told me, I didn't ask you to pay for my hotel. So when he said that, I bust him in his shit. And when I bust him in front of the police, and when I bust him in
Not
his
in front of the police.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Oh my gracious.
Yes, ma'am, I did. So
you ain't scared.
No. So wherever you show out, I always told my children, wherever you show out on me at, I'ma show out on you at. He
did.
showed out at the store. I'ma show out at the store. He showed out on the internet. I kept quiet for 6 years. He said he promised me he'll tell the truth. He wouldn't tell the truth. So damn right, I'ma show out on the internet too. So hey, it is what it is with me. You show, I'm a mother, and that's the
Right.
type of mother I am. You show out on me, bitch, I'ma show out on you.
Right.
But anyhow, I hit him. And then he's all in front of the police. And so the police was like, he understands where I'm coming from.
As a parent, yeah.
Right. And so he didn't pay for it. In order for my son, my 17-year-old son, not to go to jail, I had to pay for it. And I only had like 34, I wanted maybe $32, $34, something like that left.
Mm-hmm. Oh
It's unnecessary. And that's when I put Boonk out. I put him out for good when he was 20 years old. But he get on these interviews and say, my mommy put me out when I was 16. No, you went with your father. Yes, I put you out, but you went with your father. Stop painting a picture that you were in the streets when you were 16. That's a fucking lie.
So
you were in Miami with nowhere to go when you were 20 years old. I put you out.
Because of his behavior. Let me ask you this now. Why do you think, I know you said that he always wanted to be on top, but why do you think he's, you know, in his mind, what he's telling is his reality? And, you know, and nobody can sit here and say any, you know, say different, because in listening to what you know, what he's putting out and what he's saying is definitely believable. But in your mind, you as being the mother, why do you think he's going to this extreme to do something so detrimental, you know, to the family? Like, I understand he have kids, right?
Who? My son? Yeah, I have one grandson by him.
Okay. So, and do you have a relationship with the grandson?
When I see him only when Boonk brings him.
Okay. So, again, why do you think that he's going to this extreme to tell, you know, all these stories that he's telling?
Okay, well, first, Boonk thought I would never say nothing because how I am. I never was an internet person. I stay to myself. I go to work, come home. That's that. That's how I live.
Okay.
Boonk was very surprised when he brung me off the porch outside on his ass. That's one reason. Because he thought I would never say nothing. He thought he can just keep getting away with it. Right. Another reason is he was Boonk Gang at one time. He was wilding. He was this. He was that. And so as he got older, he started to mature. He went to jail, realizing, hey, if he keep doing this, it ain't nowhere but jail or dead. It's negative. So he needed to redo himself. And plus he was growing when he went to jail. He was growing and trying to find himself some more. So in his mind, let's think. I'm gonna tell you how my son thinks. What can I do to still keep my name relevant? What can I do to make excuses of why I was doing what I was doing? Because he's always said he was poor and from the hood, putting on an image, you know, which that was not true. I just let that go. But he ran with it. He was on an interview with, I don't know, the white guy. He's a white guy. And the white guy asked him, you know, about the Boonk Gang. Why was he doing that? And he told the guy, well, because I was poor. I never had nothing. I grew up with nothing. And he said, I live in the same, he said, I live with my uncle. He's saying, this is the same hood I grew up in. Which was a lie. He's told the Shade Room that he never had nothing when him and Woe Vicky were doing an interview together. And if people have any sense, you can catch him in his own lies. Right. He said he went to private school, right?
He did.
What hood, what poor, if you never had nothing? I know me and my brother, we had very little. And the things that we had to buy ourselves. Because our parents, we were poor. We had no lights, no water, barely. What person and Boonk said he grew up with 5 other siblings. It was 6 of them in the household.
Mm-hmm.
So if your parents are so poor, how the fuck could your mom afford private school for all of your siblings?
Yeah. So okay, so true fact, all of the kids were in private school, not just him.
Not just him, all of my children.
Yeah, it's no way you're in. It's no way you're coming from anything, or you don't have anything, and you're all 6 kids are in private school. Now I can
All
see,
of them.
if you were athlete, or sometimes in certain areas you have people who sponsor a
Right.
kid, but they're not going to sponsor 6 kids, going to private school. That's just unheard of.
Yes, all my children were in private school. On top of that, paying for school tuition, my children were in activities all year round. Baseball, football, basketball, band, cheerleading, ballet. Boonk was in ballet. I put Boonk in ballet. Tap dancing. He was in tap dancing. Every year,
Wow.
all year round, my children had to be busy and active in activity. I had to pay for 5 children, not my youngest son. He wasn't in activities, but
Okay.
my older children, because he's a lot younger, but my older children that were 5 of them all year round, each child had to be in an activity. One child, he wanted to play golf. We signed him up for golf, but then his daddy got cancer, and it was just too much because it's a lot of money for golf. And my late husband used to take all the children, and they used to go play golf. So Boonk came from a middle, if you want to put some class to it, middle class. He had, he had Jordans. He had.
So let me ask you this: how does that make you feel as a mother, though, knowing that all of what your kid is saying isn't true? Like, tell me, like, like, where's your mental, like, what's going on in your head? Because I can only imagine, you being a mother, and you're like, hold on, like, what the hell is going on here? Like, am I living in the twilight zone? Like, am I tripping? So tell us, exactly how you feel as the mother, and you're hearing all of these things.
For one, disappointment in Boonk. Disappointment. For 2, hate. Be straight up. Hate, regret. I'm gonna tell you why I have all these. At first, I was hurt because Boonk promised me. We had conversations. Boonk promised me he would not go on with lies and exaggeration and switching stories. He promised me that. And he failed me when he did that Tasha K interview. And I knew when he said, I need to tell it from my perspective, I already knew he was going to start lying. And he thought that I would be the regular mommy Simona that's forgiving and say, I understand. Okay, but you got it. He thought I was going to be that. But no, that broke me down because I already been through too much stuff. I'm tired of Boonk taking away the hard work, the sacrifices that I made in my life to provide him with the lifestyle, not just material things, but the nurturing that I gave him, the investments of a child that I barely at times didn't have mental capability for myself for things that I was going through, but I still put that aside and gave it to him, gave him my last. I was a teenage mom. I had no education. I grew up dirt poor. I had a 7th grade education on top of that. Dyslexia, I have dyslexia. I'm going through all this myself, low self-esteem. But when I started having children, it lit a fire in me to want to do better. I didn't want my children to go through or grow up the way I did. So that lit a fire in me. And I went through hell and sacrifices to provide him a life, to go back to school, to get an education, to go to college, to get an education, to have meetings and talking, investing in my children, for him to just say, fuck my mama. She ain't do shit. She ain't. Hey, we ain't have this. Oh, she was abusive. Oh, she was this. And no, don't do that to me. Don't take
Right.
away what I've done for you, because I went through pain. I went through pain for my children. I did stuff
Right.
I didn't have to do. I didn't have to put them in private school. I didn't have to put them in all those activities. I didn't have to go on field trips with my children. I didn't have to go to school lunches with my children just because. I used to use my vacation time to take off my job just to go to eat lunch with my children, to spend time with them. I didn't have to do none of that. I did it because I loved my children. I did it because I knew the importance of being there and putting nurturing and love and caring and showing them. I didn't have to do that. The Christmas, I remember several Christmases, all my children teachers, even Boonk, they had multiple teachers when they were in middle school. I gave every last teacher Christmas. I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to sponsor the football teams. I didn't have to do that. I did it because of love. And for my son to sit up there and to drag me and to make it seem like I was just bad mom, I was abusive. Oh, I said I'm gonna shoot my son and I'm choking my 6-year-old daughter. Come on, don't do that to me, man.
Right. I definitely understand you know, how you feel, and just listening to you state all of that, again, I only can imagine, you know, how you feel. But I noticed that you said something about he thought that you wasn't going to say, he promised you that he was going to tell the truth. So you guys had a prior conversation about something that he said or did before, and
Multiples.
okay. Right.
Yes.
And, you know, I understand, you know, when you said that you were a young parent, like, how old were you when you had him?
I was 17. I was 16 when I was pregnant with him. I got married in September. A month later, I found that I was pregnant with him. Or was it October? It was October, excuse me. On that marriage, it was October. And a month later, I found that I was pregnant.
Okay, you say on that marriage. I got you.
Yeah, I got bad decisions. I thought I was being grown.
Trial and error, trial and error. I definitely get it. But I think, you know, as a, you know, listening to you tell your side and, you know, what you guys experience, like, what is it going to take for you guys to rectify this situation? Because as a mother, you know, and a, you know, he's an adult now, he's a man, you know, how, and I know you said he has a son, right?
Yes.
So in order to get past this, what is it going to take for you guys to sit down, have that conversation, and move past this point?
I don't care if I ever speak to him again in my life, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Boom, I done went through so much hell in my life with children, with men, with decision making, me making bad decisions, or it's just not with me, with other people bringing stuff to me. I've been through so much in my lifetime, and Boonk has done me so dirty, and I still continue to always be a mother to him. Even though I may not agree with what he did, I may not have understood some things. For him to want to get a Netflix deal off of dragging my character, and I must go along with it. No, boy, no. No, I'm not going along with the lies no more. You tell him you're up here doing whatever he was doing here in Jacksonville with a Christian group, saying that he's grew up in the hood, he's from the hood, and he never knew anything with Christianity or anything like that existed. I flipped the fuck out. I made a video. Don't do that, Boom. Don't do that, because you used to go to a Christian private school. Not only did you go to a Christian private school, I used to take my children to church every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. So what do you mean you never knew about it? So you trying to paint this picture that you was from the projects, from the hood, telling people you was in foster care and crazy stuff. Man, come on, man.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with that.
Right. I definitely you know, I think we all can understand you may not want anything to do with that, but at some point, as a Christian, at some point, you know, because you stated that you took y'all basically in church almost 5 days a week, right? So there has to be some type of Christian foundation there. What, so as a Christian, I can, see that, as far as the mother in you, probably, you're probably feeling some type of way. But as a Christian, we're taught to forgive. We know we don't forget, but we're taught to forgive, right? So if he was to come to you and say, "Hey, mom," or whatever he calls you, let's sit down, and get this right. You're not gonna agree to that, sitting down and getting it right. What you're saying,
Let
even
me
as a
tell you,
friend.
let me tell you something. I'll tell you what I learned. See, these are just titles.
Mm-hmm.
Mother, father, sister, brother, wife, cousins. Those are titles. I met my end of that title. I met my end. I was a mother until I couldn't be anymore.
Mm-hmm.
When has he ever been a son to me? Never. It was always going through hell, whether he was a little boy, which, children be children, but there comes a point in time in your life to where you sit back and you do some self-reflecting and you take accountability instead
Right.
of trying to pass the buck over. Oh, it's your fault. It's your fault. It's my mama's fault. He blames me for him getting his jaw broke while he was in California. See, I can sit here and I can tell you stuff that nobody don't know. And I wish I would have grabbed the phone to record him having a hissy fit, acting like a 2-year-old. Boonk is jealous of some of my children, of his brothers. He's jealous of
Mm-hmm.
my youngest son. He's jealous of another son of mine,
And why do
saying,
you think that he's jealous of those
no, I don't
brothers?
think, I don't
Why
think
do
I
you?
know. Because he says I baby them more. He said, you love them more than me. Marcel used to sleep in the bed with you. You used to love and care. But I did the same for him too. When he was
Right.
a baby. When he was a baby. See, he's my oldest child. So he
Mm-hmm.
got to see each of his siblings be born. He got to
Right.
see me love and baby them. Okay, he's the oldest. After a while, you got to move out the way. I still babied on, well, I loved on him, but I didn't baby
Mm-hmm.
him. I
Okay.
You can't come sleep in the bed with me because I got the baby. I'm breastfeeding the baby. You
Mm-hmm.
can't do that. I love you, but let me do this. With
Right.
my baby boy, my youngest son, he was a lot older. He was a lot older. So of course he got to see me baby him and love on him, et cetera, et cetera. So he's envious of those two. My other son, Marcel, I called him Tukanuka. I called Boonk
Mm-hmm.
Boonky Boonk. But
Okay.
after a while, I didn't call him Boonky Boonk no more because he was getting older. So I called him Boonk. And I used
Mm-hmm.
to say he's my Boonky Boonk. With Marcel, I called him my Tukanuka. And I used to love on him and say, my Tukanuka, my Tukanuka. And with
Right.
my youngest son, I used to call him my Sugar Pack. So
Mhm.
Boonk in his feelings. If I was to go to Boonk and say, oh, you my Boonky Boonk, mommy love you, he would eat that shit up. He
Right.
would eat that
Let
shit,
me.
but he can't get that from me no more. He can't.
Right.
No.
Let me ask you this: do you think it's fair to say that the capacity level change with each kid, like how
Yes.
you loved and on one kid, and it comes with
Mhm.
growing. So
Yeah.
what he probably experienced early on, he probably don't remember, or he didn't experience what he sees now. So yeah, so he may feel some type of way, but I still don't think it's a reason for him to basically throw these tantrums and doing what he's doing, because at the end of the day, like, you're still his mom, and it's nothing that him or nobody can change about that. So with him having a kid, does he have a relationship with his kid?
When the camera's on, when he
Mhm.
uh I really don't want to speak on that because that's
Okay.
between them two.
Okay.
However, when it's time for a video to be done, from what I know,
Mhm.
let me play. I'm gonna show you I'm the daddy.
Okay.
Uh, when he wants to make me proud, and show off. Oh, mommy, look, I bought, I don't want to say his name. I bought him more shoes. Oh, look, mommy, I'm a father. Look, I'm a man. I'm better than my dad, which his biological father, you know. I think he gets mad. I hate to say this, and I don't want to go too deep. This is just my opinion from what I observed and from the text messages that I have screenshots from his phone. I have them in my phone. The proof that I have. He gets mad at the mother, which is a great mother. I may not too much care for her, but when it comes to a mother, she does what she's supposed to do from what I have seen.
Okay.
When he's mad at her, I feel it's fuck everybody. I ain't doing shit. And that's been his track record with from day one.
Right. So, what do you want people to know about you? Or if they was to listen to this, before you listen to this interview and they were just to see you, what would you tell someone? What would you want someone to know about you?
I'm not crazy. I got plenty of sense. I just don't tolerate bullshit. I'm a mother that's fed up. And where my child act up at, I'ma act up at. He act up on the internet, I'ma act up on the internet. He wanna embarrass me out there, I'ma embarrass him out there. I'm just a mother fed up. Right. And you can't judge me based on something that you never experienced. You never walked my shoes. You never dealt with things that I dealt with. And if you have and you handled it differently, then that's worked for you. I'm going to handle it the way I handle it, the way I see best for Simona.
Wow, I think we've learned a lot about you guys' situation, you know, and I'll be honest with you, it's a very tough situation, and just listening to it, it's kind of heartbreaking because, you know, to see, you know, how far you guys are apart as far as the relationship, and you know, even though the stories are similar, however they're turned, you know, just a little depending upon who you're speaking with, but I just think that it's sad though, because you know, we definitely don't need this in the world, like, because a lot of people feed off of things like this, and a lot of people look at it and they run with it, you know, and a lot of people duplicate things that they see, and they feel like, okay, if he can disrespect his mom, then I can do it too. You know, if this is what it takes for me to get on top, or if she disrespect her son, then you know I can be fed up too and go ham too. You know, so it just got to be. It's a thing of we have to be careful because we have people that are constantly watching us, and people that are you know, looking at what we're doing. Not saying not be authentically us, but at the same time we have to be careful about the things that we put out. You know, because at the end of the day, God knows. You know, and it's a shame that you know he would go to this extent to drag you in, you know, in this manner, the way that you know he was brought up, you know, it's totally disrespectful, and you know, and you wouldn't want. I don't think he would want his kid to do that to him. So I just think we got to kind of watch, you know, how we move. Oh, definitely.
Tenfold.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, I put out so much proof of his lies. And every time I see him on the interview, I'm like, these people are not questioning this. He said this on this interview, but get on this interview and say this. Like, he never said to the public that he burnt his brother, the one that I told you, one of the ones I told you he's jealous of. He burnt him with the iron. He's jealous, you know, of him. Even to this day, I can go on details about the Boonk fell out, spitting on me, acting like a 2-year-old, saying he'll take his weight and bust me in the head with it. And I have witnesses. I was not the only one there when that happened. This was a few years ago. So he acts like a 2-year-old. He want me to baby him, and I'm not that type of mother to baby. I grew up hard. You're a man. I was raising boys. I'm gonna give you tough love. I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing. I'm gonna tell you how it is. And if you don't like it, I don't know how to give it to you any other way but to be honest, and that comes from love. But but Boonk, he is going to get it 10 folds, probably 20, 40 folds. And I hope not. I hope that the children he have don't take him through what he took me through. And I don't want my grandchildren to go down roads either. I really don't. But Boonk is going to learn everything that he did to me. Instead of him saying, you know what, I was a good mom. My mom was a good mom. We had our ups and downs, but she did what she could, and she did a damn good job. Because one on those interviews, I heard Boonk say, well, my mom tried. No, I did more than just try. I did that shit. I was from the ghetto, in the hood for real. Poor, dirt poor, no education, nothing. I had nothing. And I was a teenage mom going through hell and high water. And I did that shit. I wasn't the best mom in the world, but I was a damn good one. And I provided for mine, and I loved mine, and I nurtured mine, and I did everything I could to make sure my children had every opportunity they could in life to make it, to have choices. I didn't have really choices. I just knew what I knew in survival mode. And so I had to make my own choices. But instead of him,
you could, I don't mean to cut across you, but let me ask you this. If you could say something to your son right now, what would it be? What would you say to him? Honestly.
Without cussing him out?
Honestly, how it be authentically you.
You bitch motherfucker, your lying ass self. I seen that little interview that you did. I seen that interview with your hand in your pocket and the smirk on your face. I know exactly what you was doing, Boonk, because you knew I would watch that video. And you know me. You know, just as I know you, you know me, and you know how to push my buttons. And you knew that would push my buttons. So to get a reaction out of me, you did that. You said that comment and did what you did. And the day that I will believe you that you saved, because you know I know it. You know I know your business, right? Yeah, mama knows. Mommy knows. So the day that you are truly actually saved and feel sorry for your sins, that will be the day that you come and you beg for forgiveness. That's the day that you say, Mama, I'm sorry for everything I done. Mama, I'm sorry for being a bad example. Mama, I'm sorry for taking you for hell. Mama, I'm sorry for lying on you. You was a good mother doing the best you could with what you knew how. And Mama, you did that shit. And I'm grateful and I'm thankful for to have a mother like you. I may not have been the mother that you wanted, Boonk, but I was goddamn mother that you needed, because you needed a mother like me. You wanted a mother to let you do whatever you wanted to do, when you wanted to do it, let you wear hip hop hood clothes, and I didn't want that for you. I wanted the best for you. And to me, as a parent, that wasn't the best, because I didn't want to buy you those clothes. I wanted you to dress conservatively. I didn't want you to have a mentality of a hood, but that wasn't good enough for you. You must go on the shade room and say you ain't have nothing. Boy, you had Polo, Aeropostale. We went to St. Augustine Mall. That's all I bought your clothes at, boy. You's a liar. And I pray to God that because of your sins, it's not passed to my grandchildren that you may have. So God be with you. And the day that you apologize to me, sincerely apologize to me, I'll think about forgiving you. And if I was such an abusive mother, tell the people, Boom, let's talk about this. If I was such an abusive mother, why am I the first person and the only person you'll bring your son to the babysit? Why? Oh, I know what you told me, because you know he's in good hands, because you know I'm always protect him and won't let nothing happen to him, because I'm a good mother. You'll tell me that, but then go drag me.
Wow. You said a mouthful, and but I can respect the place that you're speaking from, and it sounds like, a place of hurt, a place of, you're upset, anger, like all of it rolled into one, and very much so. You know, I just pray that, he does sincerely come to you, and that when he comes to you, you won't even think about, you know, um, you won't even think about, accepting his apology. But before you know it, it's it's over and it's done, and you guys are going on to the next hurdle, because life is short. People are leaving here at a rampant race and rate, and it's just like it's just time to get it together. But I do realize that sometimes, just because you're born into a family, or you're connected to people, doesn't always mean that we have to be together. But I do think, as a people, we need to respect one another, regardless of whatever our personal feelings are, or whatever. I think everyone, no matter who you are, what you are, deserves of a level of respect. And I have learned so much, in this. We've been talking like over an hour, but I've learned so much. And I'll be honest with you, like, I have so many mixed emotions right now. It's like, no, I don't have kids, but I'm like, yo, like, if I had a kid, I'd be like, what you mean? But at the same time, but to some capacity, I do understand that, sometimes we bump heads, and things don't go according to the way that we want. But that don't mean that we get out here and we do the things that we do to our family and our friends. Like, now it just seems like with social media, it just magnified like so much. Who it's about, who can get out here and tell the story, who can get out here and sell this and sell that. But at the same time, you're hurting people's feelings. And at the end of the day, without a dollar attached, the feelings are all you have. Point blank, period.
And
So, go
Boonk would
ahead.
never, if excuse me, Boonk
Mhm.
would never, before I came out and started telling the truth,
Mhm.
Boonk got some condo. He bought some condo somewhere, or rented a condo. And I was proud that he was doing better.
Okay.
And he was, starting to calm down, get away of the Boonk Gang. He still do Boonk Gang, but not the Boonk Gang. It's a different Boonk Gang. It's
Okay.
it, deceiving Boonk Gang.
Mhm.
But I was happy for him. So what I did was I furnished his condo. I furnished
How
it.
nice of you. That was
And I
nice.
didn't, he's 26 years old. And I said that
Mhm.
not for praise, but thank you. I said
Mhm.
that to say the type of mother that I've always been, the type of mother that I am. If my children are doing good, I'm going to meet them halfway.
Right.
Because I never wanted my children to struggle and go through pain like I did. And I made a mistake because that made my children feel entitled because they never had to too much work. Even when the things changed, I still made it easy for them. And
Mhm.
I bared the pain. But hey, he's doing good. He got him a 2-bedroom for him and his son. And I wanted to, he didn't ask me to. He
Mhm.
said I didn't have to, but I wanted to because I was proud of him and I wanted to show my love as a mother.
Right.
And I did that from love. And for him to turn around and to do that interview in December after he told me he would stop lying and switching stories and that shit, for him to
Mhm.
do that to me just shows that he said, fuck me, fuck my mama. She's gonna forgive me. She ain't gonna say nothing. She's gonna keep my secrets. No, I'm not. Not no more. I'm, I'm gonna tell it out. See, I have nothing to lose by telling the truth. I have
Mhm.
nothing to lose. He has everything to lose by telling the truth. What respect will he get by saying, okay, everything I said, I really didn't grow up in the hood. I really grew up entitled. I was a teenager that was just being rebellious and acting out. I was giving my mother hell and she was doing what she could to try to get me in line. People are gonna look at him like, God damn, so you was just off the chain, wilding out, doing Boonk Gang shit.
Right. It's sad. It's definitely sad, but it's eye opening at the same time, because you know people can be deceiving. And I think it will be hard for him to come out and say, um, "Yo, I was lying. Like, I was just lying. I was just wailing a little bit." You know, um, but because he's built so much of
Mhm.
this, and it's like, what? Like, are you serious right now? But and things blow over, and then they'll be going on to the next person. So, but I guess it's whatever people come up with now. I just think that personally, I think being authentic, people hold on to you a little more. So people are riding and interested in you now, um, but not for long.
Mhm.
It was so long you keep telling the same story. And before we end this interview, I remember you saying something about different interviews. He said something different, and nobody checked them on it. Sometimes the interviewer don't look at other interviews. I don't know why, but us on Wait Again Minute, we often do because we want to fact check. We want to, make sure that we're having an authentic conversation.
Right.
So we will look at interviews, and because you have to research the people that you're talking to and that's sitting before you,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
So sometimes, people don't look at other people interviews, but if you do, you can kind of ask something that maybe didn't get answered in that previous interview, or ask something that it didn't add up for you. Like the math wasn't math. And so you said over here X, Y, and Z. So what was it? You know?
Mhm.
Um, but I just encourage you guys to encourage you to just keep that door open. Keep that door open. He's gonna walk through. He's gonna walk through, and he's gonna be Boonk, and he's gonna be himself. And and I know that when he comes to you, he's gonna come to you right this time, because he's gonna be sent to you, and he ain't even gonna really realize it.
Not if it messes up his money. He won't.
Oh, oh,
Not if it messes up his money.
mm,
Tell me
well,
something. Let me
hmm
ask you a question if you don't mind.
absolutely not. I don't mind.
So his biological father never done nothing for him, really. He accused me of keeping him away, which at times I did because of the lifestyle he was living. And I didn't want my son around that.
Mhm,
However, he had visitation rights every other weekend. He would never come pick him up. Boonk went years without seeing him. His father, biological father, in and out of jail, didn't
mhm,
give a fuck, never done nothing for him. When I did let him go, he'll bring him back late or wouldn't pick him up at all. Now you got a man that ain't give a damn, it wasn't in your life. But you have a mother that was always there, broke her back, did everything for you, even as an adult, that she could do for you.
mhm.
This man you put on a pedestal. Mama, you drag. Why?
For some reason, it's like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, you know, I don't know why it's that way, but it's definitely that way. Me being from a single parent home, like my father wasn't there. My mother never said anything bad about my dad, that I can remember, or whatever. Probably he didn't take care of us or whatever. But when we got old enough, we saw it. But at the end of the day, I still had that little girl in me that wanted to be with her father. So no matter what the absent parent does or doesn't do, we still have that part of us that yearn to be connected to something that's not there. Period. And I don't know in his situation, but for me, that's what it was. So no matter, what the absentee parent did, we still desire that connection. So we're not going to talk about them. We're not going to drag them, because for some strange reason, we're still leaning towards them. I mean,
Mm.
that's the only way I can answer it from my perspective. I don't know, but that's just it's crazy as it sounds. That's what it is.
Let me tell you this. Thank you for answering. And I'll tell you this. So Boonk biological father,
Mm-hmm.
he holds Boonk up in his wrong. See, Boonk have a little status, a little platform. Um, in his mind, Boonk is rich and he can get something from Boonk. He's a doer of iniquity.
Mm-hmm.
Boonk didn't have any of that. he probably would. He probably still would hold Boonk up in his wrong, but he would also tell him, "Wait a minute, now don't do this, don't do," you know. But as long as Boonk give him taking care of him, like I heard he is, and as long as Boonk have a little bit of fame, clout, he's gonna Boonk could never do nothing wrong, never. He's gonna, and I'm not that way. I'm not that type of parent. If you wrong, I'm gonna hold you accountable for it. If you wrong, you wrong. I'm not gonna uphold you when you wrong. I'm not gonna do it. If you doing wrong, I'm gonna tell you you're doing wrong, and I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. So he thinks so highly of a man that ain't give a fuck about his well-being, his whole upbringing, his whole life. But because he can get something from it, they both can get something. Boonk could get the sense of being put on a pedestal, and the biological father can get taken care of and could get, "Oh, this my son, bitch, you ain't do shit for him." And stop using that excuse saying that I held you from him, because you's a motherfucking lie. You had visitation rights every other weekend, you just chose not to come.
So he had court ordered visitation. He chose not to exercise his right.
Right. In our divorce, yes, and it's public record. Anybody can pull it up. In our divorce, when he got out of jail, he was court ordered to pay me $35 a week in child support. And he got visitation every other weekend. He chose not to. The only time I did not let Boonk go, because there were times I did not let Boonk go, is because he was in the streets doing all type, getting busted in the back of the head by a baser, doing all type of crazy stuff with different women. They fussing and fighting. I didn't want my son around that.
Right.
So anytime he was wilding out in the streets, no, I did not let him go. But other than that, he used to pick him up a couple of times, but he was always late. Didn't bring him back on time to the baseball games. Couldn't drop him off on time. Or I had to come pick Boonk back up because he couldn't drop him off. But he chose not to be in Boonk life.
Right. It's a sad situation. But yeah, it goes back to what I said about the absent parent not being there. So if he wasn't there, then of course, Boonk is like, okay, well, now he's here. So he's in my life, whether I'm allegedly, taking care of him or not, he's here now. So we're good. And the father is like, okay, well, I know I ain't do my part. I'm gonna put it on somebody else, but what I mean, I'm here now. So he's, like you said, he's upholding what he's doing. So let me ask you this: why did you agree to do our interview today?
The more people that hear my story, well, before I said yes to it, of course I had to check your page out to see if I can be myself, because I don't like to be, like I don't want. But I agreed, and the seal the deal on that was because the more people that hear, the more people could understand or overstand me, because I ain't a bad person. Yes, I grew up in the hood. I did. Yes, I'm rough around the edges, but I'm also a lovable person. I'm a compassionate person, and I'm pragmatic at that. I'm rational. I have sense, but I need people to kind of hear my story too, more than just a few interviews that I've already been on, because Boonk do multiple interviews and he's telling stories. So hey, I'm gonna tell my story, continue to tell mine.
That's right. And no one can tell your story better than you.
And I like your calmness. When I was watching your other interviews, I like the calmness of how you guys are, and y'all let people say what they, say, be themselves.
Oh, definitely. And that's the reason for it. Wait again a minute. Like, we don't want, that's why a lot of times we don't send out questions to people, because we don't want people to rehearse, oh, I'm supposed to say this, I'm supposed to say that. No, we want you to be authentically you. Be who you are, whether you're ratchet, whether you're compassionate, whether you're sweet, whether you're sour patch, whatever it is, because at the end of the day, that's gonna go further. And we definitely, we're not journalists or anything like that, but we allow people to come on and tell their story, and we listen to what you say and we respond accordingly. Like, we're not going to sit here and, you know, talk cross you. We're not going to do none of that. Now we're going to ask you some tough questions that most people may not ask. Of course we are, you know, but at the same time we're going to be respectful, but we're going to make sure that we are listening, and we're getting your story out. That's why we allow people to come on and tell their story to control their narrative.
Yeah.
Um, so that's the reason for our podcast. And, you know, again, I want to apologize that my co-host isn't here,
It's all
but
right.
I really thank you. Well, we truly thank you for taking the time out to come on and express, you know, how you feel. And prayerfully, when people hear this and see this, that they will get a better understanding of your perspective and, you know, where you coming from, because everybody, you know, reality is different. We could all be in the same house. You know, you have 6 kids, right?
Yes.
Every kid is gonna have a different
Yeah,
perspective. That's just what
that
it
is
is,
true.
you know. So but for the most part, you know, I mean, we truly want to thank you for sitting down with us, talking to us today, and to show your heart, and to let people into your world, because he is doing so many interviews, and you know, and it's like it's hopping and popping right now, but what
It's
people fail to
painting me.
realize, yeah,
Excuse me.
I'm sure.
I'm wanting to say, and it's not right. It's painting me in the wrong light. And if he want to say about my roughness, yes,
Mhm,
I am. I'm not wow, 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 wow. I only get wild and I fight. Yes, I do fight.
mhm,
But it's when somebody mess with me. It's when somebody keep on and on and on. It
right,
don't make it seem like I'm just this wilding out person, mother from the hood, the ghetto, and just don't have no sense and
mhm,
uneducated and dumb. No. Yes, I just don't let nobody fuck with me. I do get rowdy, but I take up for myself. But he
right. So
painting all type of crazy stuff.
right. I get it. You only fight in defense mode. I get it.
Yeah.
You know, you only have to even have to explain that. I can see your demeanor from here. Um and but yeah, like you know, it's just it's baffling, you know, and I'll be honest. But again, I just pray that, you know, when it's time, and you know, and it's all in God's timing, that things will come back together, and you guys will be on something different, something new, and people will be able to take and learn from you guys. I think that's the thing for this interview, is that people will learn from what you guys are going through, because a lot of times what we go through and what we do isn't for us, it's for somebody else, right?
Mm,
So I just hope that somebody will see this and they will turn from you know, the way that they're going now, and they'll be like, you know what, I don't, let me stop, because I don't want to go that far, because they
mm,
seen, you know, you guys' story. So prayerfully, that's what it is. And, you know, people will get something out of this, and it will turn whatever situation that they're going through around, you know. So before we go, we always ask our guests how their time has been since they've been on Wait a Gam Minute podcast. So you're up next, Miss Simona. Like, how was your time? Like, let the world know, and be authentically you, as I stated several times this evening, um, how your time has been since you've been rocking with me for this last hour and a half.
Wait again a minute. It's been a breezy, easy task, baby. Don't play with wait again a minute. I gotta relieve some therapy off my chest, baby. Yes. Good
That's
time.
good.
I enjoyed this interview. You made me relax and easy. I could be myself. I ain't have to be uptight. You wasn't
Right.
judgmental. And you put your input in there without saying, well, you should have did it this way. You ain't say none of that. You know,
Mhm.
you could have, nah, you ain't do me that way. You ain't drag me. I appreciate
No,
that.
no, no, we definitely not in the dragging business. Now we will drag a couple people now, but you know, it's only in our defense. It's only, you know, in a defense mechanism. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much it. But yeah, we definitely thank you again for rocking with us today. And yeah, so stay encouraged, like for real, stay encouraged. And I'm gonna be in contact with you. Every interview we do, we always try to stay in contact with people because it's just not about a one and done. Like I'm speaking for me as in Gam. I want to follow up to, in a couple of months, half of a year of where you guys are. Because when I tell you, I know it's going to turn around. I have no doubt it's going to turn around. It's going to turn around so fast and so swift that y'all ain't even going to see it coming. The way you're talking now, I might see. Let me think about it. It's not even going to happen. Before you know it, y'all gonna be back and y'all gonna be moving on and then on to bigger and better heights. So yeah, stay encouraged. And so keep a smile on your face. And when you see those interviews, know that it's just a day and a step closer to when it's all gonna be over. It's
Sure.
it's only for a minute. I promise you, it's only for a minute. And yeah, stay tuned to All Things Wait Again Minute.